The road we're on is paved in Garth.
Come along on the journey
as we explore
Garthology.
Think of it more as a conversation. I like that. So if this is truly a conversation, then I say let the conversation begin. Showtime!
Hey guys, it's Deb.
And I'm Pete.
And I'm Jess.
Welcome to Season 4, Episode 16 of Garthology. Today we're going to discuss a topic that was brought up by Garth himself, and we found it so true and so interesting that we just needed to talk about it. During a recent Inside Studio G, Garth discussed the fact that cell phones are locked up during all of his Las Vegas residency shows at Caesar's Palace. Here's some audio from that recent Inside Studio G with Garth, Hashtag, and Sam talking about the difference with no phones. Now you'll notice at one part during this, Garth is saying, look at that. So what he's talking about is professional pictures that are being shown on the screen. They're taken during the show, and you can see how people are really paying attention to the show, like staring at him watching the show. Okay, here we go. Listen in.
So this is what happens. They're going to bag your phone in Vegas. And everybody's going to go, oh my God, bag my phone. When was the last time I was without my phone, right? And they're going to bag your phone. You're going to have the bag with you. But what you're about to witness when you walk in here is what life is without the phone. And you're going to talk to people next to you. How crazy is that? You're going to make new friends. You're going to be in this place, which feels like you're this big. But I bet you 10 to 1, Ben Krebs is going to have a picture of this thing, and it's going to look like it's 15,000 people. It's awesome. So they're going to bag your phone. And when you get your phone back, there's going to be some rewards in your bag to say thank you. One of them's going to be a QR code of a professional photographer taking pictures all night long of the show. So you're going to get to have pictures that you can post or just keep. Yeah, man, it's crazy. And everybody sings. It's nuts.
You know what I love when you do the river? Because at the stadium shows,
everybody
it's always
lights
the
it up.
lights, and that's so cool. But I love how all of a sudden people like wave their hands to the river now.
And then what do you hear on the breakdown? You hear them all clap in time.
Yeah.
How long has it been since we had phones that everybody clapped in time? Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at these people, man. Look at this. They just seem to be sincerely just having fun. Yes, you feel it. And everybody in the room feels it. But I do have to think it's maybe one of two or three things. One, no phones. And it's like people are socializing with their people. They're in the moment. They're right there in the room. And so it's really cool. And they are with you. I tell you. The guys that are with you more than anything are the band. Because even though they're sitting on stage at tables, they don't know in the next 30 seconds if they're going to have to be playing something or they get to watch. And they're watching you the whole time. And the crowd just kind of feels the same way. That's fun.
So for those of you that may not know, the way that the phone thing works is it gets locked up. They're in these pouches called yonder pouches. When you walk in, your phone is your ticket. So you'll go on the Ticketmaster app. You'll pull up your ticket. It gets scanned at the door. You move on to the next person, and the next person has this yonder pouch. You'll slide your phone into that yonder pouch. It will get locked by that person, and then they'll hand it back to you. So you'll always have your phone with you, but you just won't be able to access it. Now, they do have emergency places in the lobby where during the show, you can walk back into the lobby of the theater, and there are places that are roped off and there's signage, and you can go into those spots. They'll unlock your phone for you, and then you can use it just like normal. So that's how that works, in case you're wondering. Now, Pete and I just went to Garth's show on July 8th, and of course, it was amazing, but that review is for another day. So once I heard Garth discuss phones on Inside Studio G this week, my first thought was, what a great topic. So let's discuss this. Cell phones getting locked up at concerts, specifically, not being able to access them, and not just at Garth shows, but at any show. But of course, we're going to focus on Garth because he's making it now where you can't have them. So Pete, what do you think? Since we were just there, what are your thoughts?
The first thing, this world is so driven with having cell phones in our hands and in our face and so on and so forth. And, I run a business and, I have a family. And when I first heard that the phones were not going to be available or they were going to be locked up, I was like, dang. And then, you're going to see, in my mind, the greatest of all times in a completely different setting than what I've seen him at 25 other times before, or 24 other times before, where, it's something new, right? It's the Garth Brooks plus one. And I want to have memory of that on my phone. I want to take the pictures and the videos. And so I was like, dang, that kind of stinks, but it's to see the man and he thinks it's what's best. So let's do it. So we got there and, the process of going through and getting through the line and getting your phone locked up, it was like, wham, bam, boom, you're through and security and everything. Like, holy moly, we're already inside. Like it was that quick. There is no delay. It is zero inconvenience at all for them to do that as far as timing and getting to the venue. So you get in, you're in the venue, you're sitting there, you're hanging out. And before you know it, people are starting to funnel in. And you're talking to people next to you. You're talking to the people that you're there with because you are not on your phone scrolling through social media and doing this and doing that. And right off the bat, before the show even started, I thought to myself, man, you don't have your phone. It's like weird. You're making conversation again.
That was what I found the most interesting, which I hadn't really given much thought to when I was at the show before, but I just automatically started talking to the people around me. Now, all 3 times I did it.
Right.
But for some reason, I didn't think about it until this time.
Yep.
This time I started talking to the woman next to me, and we ended up talking throughout the show on and off, making comments about what Garth was doing or what he said or what had just happened. And I don't remember the last time that happened at a concert besides these Garth shows. So it's got to be the phone. But looking back in those moments, I realized it happened at all 3 of the times that I was at Garth's Vegas show. So it's got to be the phones, right?
Correct. And you would know more than us. I mean, being that it's been 3 times, I know that you and I did the one-man show last year, but you put such a big, like, oh my God, I'm not going to have my phone thing on it. And then it's over and done. And you're like, wait a minute, that wasn't so bad at all. But the one thing that I noticed before in all the Garth shows that I went to, with my camera, I'm recording and I'm singing, which is not a great sound at all. And you get all these videos and you want to share them with people. But the truth of the matter is you don't, because all you do is hear your god-awful voice singing in the background over Garth because it's picking my voice up and not Garth's. And this time, I was so much more into this show than any other show I had ever been into. I watched every move. I watched the band. I watched the backups. It was crazy. Like I watched Robert. I saw them. I saw everybody do. I saw Jimmy moving around, and I saw Dave Gant playing instruments, and Palmer, and like all of these guys. I saw so many different things because it wasn't through the lens of a phone that I was trying to focus on one person and one person only. It opened up the entire theater to me, and I absolutely love it. I love it.
Right?
And then it got to the dancing next to the lady, Myra, I think her name was, that got a shout out from Garth, and Aunt Deb and I were dancing and, having a good time. And you look around and you see the pure joy in these people's faces and then them dancing and all that.
Yeah.
People have a good time. They dance or whatever, but you don't carry a conversation if you have your phone, in my opinion. And now I know all of what Jess has always preached to us about not looking through the lens of your phone. And it makes complete sense now. So thank you very much, Jess. I will now listen to you from now on because you know best.
You're very welcome.
I mean, we're all laughing because this has been a subject with Jess and I and Pete. We've discussed this long before Garth locked up the phones because Jess has a very particular feeling about phones at a concert.
Yes, I do. Would you like to hear them?
Yes, we would.
Of course we would.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for this, and I'm jealous that you guys have already gotten to experience it because, as you said, we've talked about this for years. I have my phone with me at concerts, but I don't take videos. I don't take pictures. I don't like that. And I feel like, especially for people like Garth who have these amazing concerts and everyone's singing and this career that's spanned all these years, he knows what it's like to perform to an audience like that before everyone had a cell phone in their face. And I feel like it would have to be disappointing now to look down and all you see is just a big, huge arena full of phones shining back at you. Like you can't really see anyone's face, and people get so distracted and, they're on social media in between songs or, texting somebody or, FaceTiming to try to, nobody can hear you on FaceTime. It sounds terrible. It's horrible quality. It's dark. And so it's not really serving a purpose anyway, but people try. And especially, sometimes there's a little drinking going on. So then the person next to you screaming into their phone when you're just trying to focus on a show. And I think just overall, the benefit of having a phone in a place like that, it's not worth all that you miss having it. Because, and I talked to Deb and Pete about this at first, like what their experience was, because my concern as a mom is I don't want to be without my phone. If something happens and I'm at a show with my child, I want to know immediately. And, or your spouse or your parents, or if someone's sick or whatever. But, they were explaining to me that because you have it with you all the time, if your phone's going crazy, you're going to feel that pouch vibrating and you're going to go out and have them open it so that you can see what's happening, that you need to be notified. So it's not like you're completely without it, which was my initial feeling. Like, yeah, I think that's great. And I've always said, hey, turn your phone off and just enjoy the show, or put it on silent and just check it every now and then to make sure everything's okay. But this is kind of the best of both worlds because it doesn't take it away from you, and you're not trusting somebody that's saying, hey, we're going to put it in a locker somewhere or whatever, but you're going to get the full experience of the show. And the artist is going to get, Garth in this particular event is going to get the experience of having the fans and the audience that he deserves and that he's probably missed also all this time. So I think it's good for him and for us. And I'm so, so excited to experience a Garth crowd and a Garth concert, and those people that sing and know every word and, are just so happy and into being there, with everybody being into it 100%. And right. So I'm so jealous of you guys that you've gotten to experience that already, because I've been saying for years that I wanted it to happen. So I'm stoked about this. I cannot wait to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And it really, truly does make a difference. Like, you don't realize how much it takes away from a concert until you experience a concert without a phone in your hand.
Anymore, yep.
Yeah.
And to think, years ago, right, we all did at some point, years and years ago, because phones haven't always been around. And to think about, like, Garth, now Garth is seeing the faces to his fans. He's not seeing apples and androids. And that's got to be crazy to him. And I'll tell you, the one and only thing I missed in this entire thing was the lights during the river.
Yeah.
That has always been something unbelievably special, because we've been fortunate enough to see him in small venues and very, very large venues.
They need to pass out the little, do you remember when we saw Rock of Ages and it's like a little LED lighter? You just squeeze it and it lights up.
Right?
Like a lighter. They so need those.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think hashtag mentioned it on Inside Studio G. The waving of our hands back and forth, although, I have zero coordination.
And we did that.
Yeah, Aunt Deb and Myra next to me, they're going this way. I'm going the opposite. I'm banging against a bang, whatever. But it was a lot of fun. Like, it was just different.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I loved it. I love it.
And I think hashtag mentioned in a recent Studio G also, where maybe they should look into giving out lighted bracelets again, because I think that
that would be fun.
Yeah, cool. I think there was something where they did that years ago. And so then you could hold up your lighted bracelet.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was cool. And hashtag was absolutely right. That's exactly what the audience did Saturday night.
Yeah.
We all just raised our hands and started swaying to it.
Yes. It's funny how time changes that way, because, years ago it was lighters. Everyone had lighters. And now, like, nobody really smokes anymore. Everyone going to hold up their vape pen, I guess, that doesn't do anything. Take those away too. I'm a nurse. It's bad for you.
Our PSA for today.
Yeah. Dr. Jess.
And yeah, so now what they do, no lighters. So now they raise a cell phone.
Yes, and then now we're going to take that away, and so we're going to do the light up bracelets. It's just funny
Right.
how things change, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
how you find a way to do something like the good part of something that was cool. You find a way to do it in a different way.
Which is just as cool.
Yeah.
It goes back to what it was meant to be.
Yeah. And those moments do, like, they just unite the crowd. They, you know, you're all there together, but there's those moments when it's like you look back. And that was the thing too. I remember, you know, and saying you don't have the cell phones, I would miss that, but it would be cool if there was any kind of light up thing, and even seeing people's hands, that if you're down front, it's so fun to turn back and just see what they see and see the crowd all together in those moments, even if they're banging into each other and even if they're not going the same direction, they're all moving. In
They're all
unison.
moving.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like another part that, and not to give away too much or whatever, but there was some sing along stuff that we were doing. And one of the things that they wanted to do was clap, and, you know, everybody kind of clap on beat. And for everybody to do it, it was so awesome to hear, because you got to think it would have been cut in half, a third, if we would have, some people would have had their phones trying to record it. They can't clap, you know, you smack your arm.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just cool. It was so cool.
And I know a lot of people out there are going to say, but I want to take my pictures. And I totally get that. I do too. But I will say, those professional pictures that they upload right after the show, like it happens like 5 minutes after the show has ended, there are already pictures up on the site, and they are pictures from that show, and they're really good pictures.
And that's the thing. They're going to get a better photo than you ever would. And I think that's amazing that they thought about that.
Right.
That, like, they don't want to take that away from you. They're giving you photos of that show, that moment that you were there for. So you really aren't missing that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a gift back to the audience, in my opinion.
And you can download those and upload them to your social media accounts, just like you would do with the pictures that you take. Only these are professional pictures. They're zoomed in, they're great quality. I love them.
Yeah.
And I've gone back for each of the shows I've been at. I've looked at them, and you can go on that site for any day and look at any of the pictures that were taken. So even for shows that you weren't there, you can look at them, and they're beautiful.
Right.
They are Garth in moments that you could never capture on your own.
But you can remember with your memory because you're not looking through the lens of your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there was things I saw Garth do on the, you know, on the guitars, and, you know, when he jumped up on the drum stage with Palmer and, you know, different things like that. Like I would have caught that before, but I would have been making sure that my phone was recording and focused and zoomed in and zoomed out. I would have missed the detail in it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, yeah, I mean, listen, if they're not going to lock up my phone going for, I don't know that I'll ever go to another concert, but Garth, I probably will at some point. But if they're not going to lock my phone up, I mean, I'm sure I'll probably leave it in my pocket.
Yeah.
You know, because there was just so much more out of this show that I got. I think out of a normal 2.5 hour Garth show, you know, a lot of me just focusing in on what's happening outside of my phone, or, you know, when I have my phone, is probably, you know, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half of it. But this last show, 2 hours, 15, 20 minutes, whatever we were there, it was the entire time from start to finish. From the second we walked in, started talking with people in line and next to your seat. Just amazing.
Yeah, it was. And another thing, looking at it from Garth's perspective, and Jess mentioned this too, Garth gets to see our faces.
Right.
Now, I'm someone who's been on Inside Studio G a couple of times, so Garth can pick me out of an audience. But if I was standing there with my phone in front of my face, he never would see me.
Right.
He wouldn't know it was me.
Mm-hmm.
And now, with no phone, he can look in the audience, see me, recognize me, wave to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what he did Saturday night.
Right.
And that's a gift for him as a performer that he doesn't normally get. Usually, like Jess said, he's just staring at the backside of a phone.
Yeah, or even people who are down close, who he's never seen before, there's still that moment of connection sometimes when he looks down and sees somebody singing along or smiling, and you make eye contact and you have that moment. But guess what? Not if your phone's between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, countless people, I'm sure, have missed moments they could have had because he looked down and saw a phone there.
Right.
That's crazy. You think that, you know, all the times we've had the phone, right? We've built a barrier between us and Garth. Jess, that's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
You put that phone up and it doesn't seem like it's a big phone, right? It doesn't seem like there's a lot, but it is that barrier. And now taking it away takes that barrier away. Now it's just you and the artist. It's just you and Garth. You know, when you have it, it's just Garth in the crowd. It's awesome. Awesome. You think about all those times they've called those people out, you know, during the request, right? And they say, hey, you know, who is so-and-so? And they're up there. Instantly, what are those people going to want to do? They're going to want to grab their phone. They're going to want to record it. They're going to want to record the big screen to see him talking to them and hear it. This time, there was hands over the face. There was a conversation between Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood and a lady at the very, very top.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a conversation with no phone, and they were able to talk and answer one another because she wasn't on her phone trying to record the interaction that she was having with Garth and Trisha. And nobody else was in her face trying to do the same thing. Everybody just sat there and watched.
Yep.
It's so good. I can't tell you enough how good it is.
I can't wait for Jess to see it.
Yeah.
She gets to experience what she's always wanted.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, that wraps up this episode of Garthology. So what are your thoughts on being phone-free at Garth's Vegas Plus One shows? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you wish that maybe you could have your phone out? If you've seen the show, did you find yourself talking to others and experiencing the concert in a different way than other Garth shows you've been to using your phone? Let us know on any of our social media accounts. Have you checked out our website at garthology.com yet? If not, stop by today and check out our past episodes and bonus content. And remember to subscribe and follow our podcast on your podcast platform of choice. Hey, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, it's been a long time since our latest review. If you get the chance, please stop by, hit that 5-star button if you like what you hear, and write up something to encourage others to listen. And then be sure and share us with everyone you know. That way you can help your friends in low places become Garthologists too.
And speaking of friends in low places, if you are on social media, we're on a couple of them as well. We are on Facebook. We are at www.facebook.com/GarthologyCast. And then you can find us at Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and the new Threads. And we are at GarthologyCast there. So please, please, please interact, share, like, tweet, retweet, do all the fun stuff and messages if you have anything you'd like to tell us, ask us, or share with us. We appreciate your guys' support.
You can hear new episodes of Garthology on the 7th, 17th, and 27th of each month. So please join us for our next episode. Until then,
thanks again for listening to another episode of Garthology. And I'm Deb.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Jess. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Go ahead. You go for ladies first.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Finish it! Finish it!
Bloopers.
And speaking of your friends in low places, if you are on social media, you can find us at Facebook. We're at www.com/Facebook.
www.com.
I just shortened that up real quick, trying to save time. Oh, boy. If you are on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and TikTok, we are at Garthology there as well. So, nope, we're not. We are at Garthology Cast there.
There you go.
Me.
I'm super glad you do socials and not me.